Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
What's going on, people? This is Influence back again. Today we're going to discuss scale. First off, thank you for joining me, and I want to do these videos more. I laugh because I keep saying that every single time I do one of these videos, discussion video. I always envision doing more discussion videos. But every time something comes up, or it's just, I don't know. I have no excuse. The excuses are plentiful, but none of them matter, because if I want to do it, I will do it. That's what I always say. And I always say that about people. Anyway, let's get into the scale discussion. So there's different ways to look at this. Scale is always been crazy in Transformers, the G1 era anyway. Scale has been all over the place depending on who's drawing it, who's misdrawing it, who's messing up, what animation errors there are. I've seen Predaking be the same size as Optimus Prime. I've seen the Constructicons form Devastator, and Devastator sitting next to one of the Combaticons, one of them, not Bruticus. So I mean, scale's always been relative. For me though, I'm going to discuss it for me. And when I say relative, and that's what I mean. For me, it's relative. It's masterpiece scale. Well, we got different scales. For one, we got legend scale, we got masterpiece scale, which I believe there's a debate what masterpiece is. Scale is a part of masterpiece. I believe there's other things that has to be masterpiece, because let me see, this, although it's its own thing, I didn't sit here to grab props, but I just happened to think about it, because this is its own thing. This is the Sling-Shoot from Moonstar. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll put it on screen. But yeah, this could be considered masterpiece, but aesthetically, it's not really. It's not a G1 masterpiece. And also, some people only consider G1 aesthetics masterpiece. And also, height-wise, I think it's a little bigger than what an Aerobot should be. But that's all relative speaking again. So you have that type of deal going on. Make sure he don't fall. And with Legends is pretty around the board. You know, they're small, they're Legends. You got different size Legends, different scaled Legends that scale with their relative speaking counterparts. Like New Age and Magic Square come into mind. And they always been a little bigger than New Age, so they don't really scale together, but they're both Legends. So there's an example of that. I know a lot of people that don't care about scale. They just care about what the robot looks like and what if it's something that they want, which I can understand that as well. But for me, scale is important in my collection, and that's just me. That's just what it is for me. Let me know if it's important in your collection in the comments. I'm sure it's important to everybody relatively. Like, people might not need stuff to scale together, but if you don't want a Legends figure in your collection with masterpiece figures, you might have a masterpiece figure that's like that's too big or too small for the person that does care about scale like me, but it may be fine in your collection to put together. Like, I had Bull, Red Bull, I think. I had that standing in as my side swipe, just because I like the aesthetics of it better than the masterpiece side swipe, which I think the masterpiece side swipe is kind of dated anyway. I think they need to come out with a new one, but I don't want that before anything that's not out. just putting that out there. You don't need to rehash everything. I think it's bigger than the Sunstreaker I have stand-in for Sunstreaker, which I think is Bad Cubes. It's bigger than that, but I don't care. So there's an instance where scale, it's it matters, but it's relative. Now, for me, I know people have the Unicron. Unicron is the biggest thing I think about with scale, but the city bots as well, and the Cabana somewhat. There's a lot of people that use that excuse like their Unicron is never going to scale, and it's not. It's not unless it's big as a house, and then it's not going to scale. It was a planet. It crushed Cybertron with his hand, like not the whole planet, but a good chunk of the planet, like half the planet is smacked with his hand. So that's not going to be scaled correctly no matter what. That's why I say relative scale. I need my bots to be relatively scaled in size that they were in my mind, pictured wise. Like Optimus Prime's bigger than most of the Autobots, besides like bigger Autobots like Jetfire and maybe Blaster and the Dinobots. Like but Optimus Prime is a big bot, so he can't be the same size as Bumblebee, and Bumblebee can't be the same size as most of the other people. like the mini bots are mini bots for a reason. They're called that for a reason because they're smaller than the rest of like they can't be. That's what I mean when I say relative. My Cabiners, I have the I guess masterpiece scale now, which is Zeta's size, 22 inches or 20 inches, can't remember. But again, it's relative. They're not going to scale. They don't scale correctly either. But I need them big. I need them big. I need city bots to be bigger than my Cabiners. I need Unicron to be the biggest bot I own. That's the only reason I don't have Zetas, and I probably will get Zetas anyway, just to add to my collection of maybe off to the back. Maybe a lot of these bots over here are just whatever. I have a little overflow section over around the corner. I don't know. Maybe I'll put him over there next to some legends. I'm not sure, but because it's great. It's a great looking bot. The Zeta Unicron is probably the best looking Unicron that's out. But the size of the HasLab Unicron is the size I want. And no, it's not in scale still, but it's bigger than everything I own, and probably everything that's going to come out except for if I ever get Fort Max from Fans Toys. You know, who knows? Can't even get a last stunting con. I ain't going on Aerobot, so let's not get into that discussion. But yeah, scale, I don't think this is a great big long discussion. This is probably all it takes right now. Is probably where I should end it. I don't know if there's any other points I want to make. Scale for me is important enough, but it's also a relative thing. Like there's a lot of folks I see that's all or nothing, and like, well, this don't scale with this. This don't scale with this. Why are you care about this and not this? And like I said, it's all relative to me. My car bots need to scale together. My mini bots need to somewhat scale together. They need to be smaller than the larger bots. The Cabiners need to be big. The city bots need to be bigger than the Cabiners, even though they're not as big as they are going to be in real. If scale was real life scale, none of this stuff is going to be real life scale. Like I want my Dinobots bigger than most of the other bots, besides the Cabiners, and like Omega needs to be big. I don't think anybody's wrong. Like it's your collection. That's the thing. I think I'm going to get into a discussion about the toxic collecting community. I hate to focus on negative, but it's kind of a good discussion. But I bring that up because I see a lot of people have like just visceral reactions to everything but to scale. Like I see people always fighting about what should be in scale. What is it scaled? Is it right scale? You shouldn't care about scale. Like you're stupid for liking scale. Why you want this to be this big? You're dumb because you want HasLab. It looks crappy just because it's big, and you're dumb because you want Zeta because it's not scaled right. It's not big enough. And all those opinions are fine, but the way they're presented isn't. That's all I'm saying. I know that I got into like a soapbox PSA type of thing, and this ain't the place. This ain't the discussion for toxicity, but it's always a good time to say no to toxicity. Okay, so that's where I'm getting at. But let me know again in the comments about your scale preferences. And as you know, I don't get a whole ton of comments, so I try to react and respond to all the comments I do get. I appreciate everybody rocking with me again. I always say that. I won't stop saying it. I don't care if you're tired of hearing it, because you are rocking with me all the time. If you haven't checked out my video on Outback Fans Toys version, go check that out. It's on the channel. If this is your first time joining me, please subscribe and share and like it, and share it on your favorite board, because it really helps out a lot. Thanks again, and peace.
Life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.